So I'm back through the magic of video. Now note that I did go ahead and trim away the excess fusible, but you can still see white. So I've got about maybe a 32nd of an inch, a 16th of an inch all the way around. I don't want to trim any off of, imagine this is stitched even though you see it blank. The wrong side would be against the fusible. Imagine that I just come around it. So then I'm just going to remove the waste paper. You can see that it looks hazy, so that tells you that that's got fusible on it. The fact that it's sticking to my thumb tells you that as well. And then be sure that this is pressed. Be sure that your fat quarter that you're putting on the back of your newly stitched mat is wrong side up and it's been pressed. Mine seems to have a wrinkle, probably because I've had the fabric way too long. So I'm just going to press that flat. And then I'm going to just lay that down. So I'm putting the two wrong sides together. So I'm going to just smack that down. And then if you've ever made pie crust, just kind of start in the middle and smooth it out. We don't want to stretch it because it's going to try and shrink back if we do. But we just want to, use your hands, finger press is the term, so that all lays nice and flat. So it feels flat from the front. I'm going to look it over on the back and feel it again. Sometimes I can feel a wrinkle or a bubble better than I can see it. That looks good to me. I don't have any stray fusible around the edge, so I think it's safe that I could just put my iron down. But again, I'm going to recommend that you apply your press cloth over it, because now there's no paper involved. I want to steam press it. So there's my press cloth that I've managed to kind of wad up. I'm going to dampen it well. And again, as we've stated before, I'm going to iron it until it's dry. 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004, 1005, 1006, 1007, 1008, 1009, 1010. I'm going to lift, and then I'm going to go elsewhere. Again, this is going to take you longer because you're working on a bigger piece. I've dumbed it down to about a 6-inch oval, just in interest of time, so that you can see easily what I'm doing. But I do encourage you to continue to go back to my pressing simulation, especially working with the Light Steam-A-Seam 2 fusible. You're not going to hurt it by over ironing it. You need to put it down really, really well. All right, so I have got it steam fused in place. I'm going to feel it again. I'm going to feel it again. I don't have any wrinkles. It probably wouldn't hurt to come back and kind of do something similar. You can either steam press it or just kind of iron it. Press it on the wrong side. And then note, I've got my beautifully imagined stitched pumpkin here, and I've got the wrong side of the cotton showing here, and that's now where I'm going to have you come in and trim. Do your level best to not trim any of your, whether it's flannel or wool, background away. You're trimming as exactly even as you possibly can, holding your scissors parallel to the work, straight up and down. Try not to hold your scissors at a true angle. You want to be as straight as you can as you come along and trim away. If you need to be in better light, go do that. If you need to put glasses on, go do that. If you're finding, some of this fine stuff hard to see and you're 40 or over, I'm sorry, but now's the time you really need to go to the ophthalmologist and say, hey, I'm having a hard time seeing my handwork. What do I need to do? And someday if you meet me in person, I'll probably tell you about my episode with glasses and contacts to be able to see my work. It's tough for us that have never worn glasses in our lives to get used to the fact that they are now an essential part of our stitching notions. That's a little bit humbling, but that's what it is. All right, so I know it's like watching paint dry, and I know that Joanna will edit some out if it's just taken too long. But again, you're going to need to carefully trim all the way around. Try really hard not to cut away any of your background. And there you go. And some might ask, don't you go to a rotary cutter for this? You know what? Unless it's a straight piece, I wouldn't have enough control over a circle or an oval to try and use a rotary cutter to trim those two even. Okay, and we've handled it and it's ruffled a little bit. I'm not going to worry about that yet. I'll come back after that once we have got it stitched. So we're ready to move on. I think we're somewhere around 11A, but actually B, where you're ready to stitch. Again, I'm using a contrasting thread, but if you opted for the Threads and Notions kit, this it's actually called Antique Blue, I believe, from DMC size 5 Pearl Cotton. I believe the number was 930, is really a great match, whether you've got the wool background or the flannel background for this one. It matches so well you wouldn't be able to see what I'm doing. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to, opt for this gold. I think you can see it really well. All right, so the first thing I want you to do is something that seems super weird. And again, I think I've mentioned before, when I start stitching on something, I kind of look at it like it's a clock. Here's 12 o'clock, here's 6, 3, and 9. Somewhere over here at 7 is about where I'll start something. I think I'm trying to be logical there in that, we read from left to right. Your eye looks at it here, but it scans to the right pretty